Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Clock Sports. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna let it roll.
One, I get suspended from game 5. But talk to me about y'all mindset. You go down 3-1, you're coming back to Golden State. What's the conversation like to even get y'all back to a mental space of we're down 3-1, we're going here for game 5, we need to win. Talk to me about the conversations in that locker room.
I think what was key was leading up to that game 4 loss, because game 3 was in Cleveland. We won that game. And
Game 4 was a mollywop. They got mollywop really bad. It was a blown out. And I think that's the game that Bogut got injured. And then that LeBron James and Draymond stuff happened. That I think he hit him in his nuts or something like that. Something crazy like that happened. But the game 4 they got blown out, and I just had a feeling at that time that the season wasn't over. You know what I'm saying?
And game 4, we lost to you guys in Cleveland, making us down 3-1. But the way we lost that game was something very simple, where you guys were running a 1-2 pick and roll with Clay and Steph, and Clay would keep slipping. And it was Kyrie and JR. Kyrie and JR was the matchup on Clay and Steph. Mm-hmm. And they kept slipping, and Kyrie and JR, I guess the miscommunication was off. So it wasn't we felt like we beat ourselves that game, just because we weren't, the lack of communication with those slip outs, and you guys basically started a whole trend with these slip out screens, right? So so I remember after that game, Bron sent the text out and we're right there. Listen, don't come on the plane if you don't think we can come back and win this series. Because we felt like, even though we lost game 4, we felt like we could. It was a winnable game. It was something that it was self-inflicted wounds where we felt like, okay.
I think which game? No, they won game 3. Game 4, y'all got blown out in game 4. Yeah, I remember that. Y'all got blown out. So it was not a winnable. Winnable is a game that you won by 2, or you won by 3, or you won by 1 point, or you won by 4. That's a winnable game. Blown out, that's not a winnable game at all. At all. By the way, it's two role players right here, man. Believe it or not, they might think they're better than whatever. But they're two role players, and they talking their shit.
Okay, we can do this. So going into game 5 now, our mentality was like, listen, we know how long that flight is. We know these boys do not want to come back to Cleveland. They do not want to come back to Cleveland. Nobody wants to take a 6-hour flight from San Fran all the way back to Cleveland, Ohio to play a basketball game. So we said, listen, if we win game 5, this is going 7 games. And the reason why we believed in that was because during that time, I believe Iggy's back was hurt. His back was hurt. I remember
I can tell you right now what they were. Iggy back was fucked up. Draymond was suspended. Bogut got injured. Steph had problem with his knee. Clay had problem with his knee. Harrison Barnes was having the worst series ever. And on top of that, Kyrie and Bron in game 5 both dropped 40 plus. You know what I'm saying? Kyrie was doing whatever he want, and the lane was wide open. Once Bogut become an X factor, lane is become wide open. Meaning, you see LeBron driving to the rack more, you see Kyrie getting to the rack more. So it just, that's what he became.
Actually had practice. We did a little snooping too. We had practice at your guys' court. We walked in, and whoever your trainer was at the time had all your guys' names down with all your guys' injuries. And I remember you were on a bunch of medicine, you were on ibuprofen, you were on a bunch of shit. I was like, God, I'm like, man, you're on a 4 medication. Then you see Iggy's back, you see Clay's. Remember, Clay had the sleeve on his calf. Yeah. So his calf was acting up.
Just because people forgot, Golden State really injured themselves because that year they would play everybody like game 7. Everybody they were playing like game 7 because They had something to prove. They won the championship the year before. And then everybody coming after they next said, oh, you didn't deserve it. You didn't play nobody, blah, blah, blah. Including me. I was like, y'all didn't play no one. Y'all didn't play the San Antonio. Y'all didn't play those tough teams. And plus on top of that, the reason why I was saying that because at that time, it's not because I was a LeBron James fan for that matter. I was saying that because I was looking at the competition. Every point guard they played in that season, in that playoff run, was injured. From the first round, second round, the third round, and the finals, everybody that played had a point guard injured. So I was saying like, yo, I don't think you guys as cool it wasn't all be all, but they stopped playing every game like Game 7, and once they do that, they put a target on their back because like once you get to the playoff, you have no other level to go to. Imagine every game you play in the regular season, you playing a team like Toronto, you feel like you're going Glock for Glock with them. You playing OKC, you're going Glock for Glock with KD at that time. Then you turn around and play Washington, Wall and Beal. You're going Glock for Glock with them. So it's like every team they play, they were getting the best out of every team. So once the playoffs started, they had no other level to go. And then the injuries stopped piling up. So once the injuries stopped piling up, and like I said, once Bogut went down, it become a free range to the basket.
So we said, oh, these guys are breaking down. So if we can get Game 5, we know mentally, because basketball, it becomes in the playoffs. It's all a mental thing.
Absolutely.
So we're like, mentally, these boys do not want to come back to Cleveland for a Game 6. Absolutely not. So we can get Game 5. We can push this to 7 because we know we can win at home. We're at home. We know we win at home. So that was our mindset. And Braun, who's the leader he is, he said, don't come on this plane unless you could believe we could come back. And sure enough, everyone showed up. We believed that. And, obviously, T. talks about a story about putting a $100 bill up in the vents, and we'll come back and get it. And so once we win Game 5, Kyrie, Braun both have 40, right? So that's crazy. And the finishes that Kyrie had, I think he had the and one with the lefty layup and one. I think
hands down was the best game I ever seen Kyrie play. I mean, he was cooking Klay Thompson. Bruh, he was putting Klay Thompson on the grill. Then he turned around, he bored Klay Thompson. Then he took him from the water. Then he fried Klay Thompson. Then he took Klay Thompson from the oil. Then he put him in the oven. Then he took him from the oven. He put him on the grill and put some jerk season on him. Bruh, Kyrie was doing whatever, however, whenever. He won on Klay. It's not like Klay was a bad defender. Klay was all up in him. He's just Kyrie. He got elevated to another level. And once you do that, bro, like he said, it was mindset. Once your mindset telling you like, hey, and then you got great players like Kyrie, LeBron, and on top of that, their best perimeter defender, the best defender on the inside is injured. And Draymond's not playing. So it was open season. It was for them to be taken. I knew for a fact they was going to win that game.
It was like either Ruben Verticali or something. Yeah, it was like stuff that Kyrie could do with his wrist game. It was just like crazy. So now we're at Game 7, and we just believed in each other. And obviously we knew that you guys had injuries, and obviously without you in the game, which helped us a lot. You getting suspended, that was huge. And
to keep in a bean with y'all, Game 7 that Game 7 with all the injuries Golden State got, Game 7 should have been a blowout for Cleveland. Cleveland should have been blow them boys out because Steph Curry was not 100%. Clay wasn't 100%. Draymond and everybody else was 100%. So they should have been blow their ass out. But it was still a winnable game for Golden State.
And obviously, we started noticing Steph getting frustrated, with the throwing of the mouthpiece. So we noticed those little mental.
I talk about that in the
those are
video,
mental errors. Like,
in the
you know that you
previous
can't
video.
do that stuff, but we saw, okay, these are little chess pieces. Like, mentally, they're getting frustrated. You know what I'm saying? And I would be frustrated too if I'm up 3-1 and it's like the game. Larry O'Brien's right there. So those little chess pieces of your guys' frustration let us know we had a chance still, which helped us believe even more. So that's kind of like, it was like a mental game at that point for us, because the basketball we could figure out. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But we knew mentally you guys were getting frustrated and you guys were actually banged up or hurt. So we said, okay, like let's just keep applying the pressure and extend the series.
Absolutely, it's crazy too. Remember, Bogut was out with the
Yes.
rib. Bogut
Yes,
had a
yes.
broken rib, and he missed the game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No, we were beat up, and
Yeah.
and then obviously the suspension was what it was. But you guys come back and you come back, you win the 2016 championship, which was huge, and for y'all, for yourself, but also in NBA history, like was huge. I'm actually not mad about that at all, because then we come back in 2017 and we got Kevin Durant. What's the thinking then? Like, what's the thinking we come back next year with Kevin Durant?
Man, when you guys came back with Kevin Durant, I said, these guys are out of control. I was joking around, like, man, these guys sold themselves to the devil. How the hell you guys pull this off? I said, how do these guys pull this off? You guys are 73-9. You lose in the finals, and you get Kevin Durant. That's the gift.
73-9 don't mean nothing if you don't win the championship. The championship would have solidified a record, because till today you still hear LeBron James fan making the argument, oh, the Golden State won 73-9, but they didn't win the championship. When the Bulls won 72-10, they won the championship. They beat Seattle Sonics. They beat them. They lost the championship. So 73-9 don't mean a thing without the championship. In my mind, 72-10 is still the record to be beat. It's still the record to be beat. 73-9 don't mean anything.
You get? That's not a bad trade. You give up one championship to get two. We call that a deal. We call that a steal. So that was actually a good trade-off that you guys did. So I appreciate that, because I wanted my one ring. At least I got one, right? So,
no, absolutely. And by the way, most people don't have that.
Yeah.
And no one's talking about, oh man, you're a one-time champion, 4-time. When you get in the meat of it, you talk about that, you're a champion.
Exactly.
We talk about resumes coming on the Draymond, you're a champion.
Yeah, when you're talking about resume, I mean, it's depending on, like, were you the alpha of the team? No, you wasn't. Draymond Green, you were a role player. And Tris, you were a role player. So I don't understand how, when people are talking about the championship, y'all niggas will be irrelevant. All right? Peace.